Hey all, and welcome back to Pokémon Sword. We're on the last steps of the journey here, but first things first, we're making a little side stop to the Wedgehurst station, because there's some DLC update shenanigans going on here.
Yes, there is also a very cute waifu, so I'm happy we are here.
Damn, she's thicker in the game than art led me to believe, I can tell you what.
Well, it's all in the right places, so I'm perfectly fine with this.
We've only just started.
I think I hang out with Flame too much. Why does this Slowpoke have mustard on his head?
It was an accident, okay? He hasn't noticed yet.
You may have already noticed, actually, that the NPC signifiers for who's talking and whatnot, they're not there anymore. I mentioned this in an earlier part, but I guess an update balked them and whatnot.
Yes, I did notice that when I was recording my long play footage of it. It's like, halfway through it, it's just like, yeah, you don't know who's talking anymore. Fun.
Lovely jubbly. Anywho, this is Clara. She wants to be a poison type gym leader one day, and we'll be meeting her when we go to the Isle of Armor in, what was it, June or July?
June, I believe, is the first pack, and I believe the second one is December, off the top of my head.
I think they said winter, or something along those lines, so welcome to the fight dimension. We are going to capture this Slowpoke in the fight dimension. He's still pure psychic, or is it just water? I'm not sure. Which is it, Flame?
It's pure psychic, this guy. He doesn't have any water-type coverage at all this time around.
Interesting.
Well, my suspicion, based on the fact of Clara and Avery being the one that you get in Shields, my suspicion is that's because Slowpoke here, in at least one of its evolutions, is going to turn into a poison psychic type.
Yeah, there was, during the first reveal, they showed what appeared to be a Galarian Slowking, but the top of his head was completely covered, and I think this might be an allusion to a beta Pokemon called Turban, or something along those lines,
Probably.
which was essentially the shoulder on a Slowbro's tail, but like completely separate, so maybe it bit Slowpoke on the head because of its colouring, and just like started working its way down like that.
Yeah, Slowpoke is just like the video game boss that has the obvious weak spot for shoulder to attack.
You're not wrong, but I'm pretty sure in that trailer we did also see what could have been Galarian Slowbro. I think they're doing both. I can't remember whether they're one specific to each DLC or what have you. It doesn't really matter. But it is quite cool, and there's all the extra fun stuff of the continuation of plant names and Japanese wordplay.
Okay, well, more of that later. Now we have to head back to Hamlock and take the train to the final route. There's no Victory Road in this game, but there is a long, straight, and occasionally curving line with a bunch of trainers on it.
Yeah, this is like the most underwhelming final route, because like, although Sun and Moon didn't have a Victory Road, they did have Fast Pony Canyon, which was essentially Victory Road.
Yes!
Whereas this time around, it's just another ice route. Like, woo, cool.
You say that, but there was a cave separating, like, was it Lanakila and the League itself?
Yeah, but I mean, like, there was this one last final dungeon that you went through before you went up to the Pokemon League. There was like something big toward the end. It wasn't just like, okay, here's an ice route, here's another ice route, then you go to the city. Cool. Like it just feels a bit limp at the end compared to what we've had in the past.
Oh my god, who's talking? I can't tell.
Yeah, this is not the best update they have ever done because, oh boy, accessibility point of view, this is pretty shocking.
It's not great, but like you can see the animations of who is doing their lip flaps. So like I never got lost with this. This never caused a problem for me. But
it's a good job. Like Pokemon is so unlimited, they can only afford to animate one person at a time. Then, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if this was any other game, we'd be completely fucked.
Anywho, yes, train time. They're basically going to reuse the same cutscene, but this time it's final kind of style, I guess.
Yeah, this is where we're gonna just be millennials and ignore each other while playing around with our phones.
It's okay. We're not travelling first class. It doesn't matter. We've got to make do with They're not even doing anything on those phones. There wasn't a picture or anything.
No, this is the thing of, like, they're both doing the polite, well, I don't know what to say, this is a little bit awkward, so I'll pretend I've got a text message.
You must be a pretty shitty friend if you don't know how to make small talk with a person you've known all your life.
True, but, yeah.
I mean, the one thing I will interject with that is that it happens with families, and families have definitely known each other all their lives.
Well, not always, Richie.
True, but in general.
Well, Richie is very privileged. He doesn't really understand how family separations happen.
Well, that's not what I mean.
Yeah, Richie, check your privilege.
Yes, plenty of Ice-type Pokemon on this route, and since I'm going to get into a battle with a very stubborn one, here's a question I've been floating around, and I've seen mentioned from time to time. Why is it that they sort of, like, segregate Ice-type Pokemon to the end game of various Pokemon games? Because think about this.
Yeah.
Where did you first encounter Ice-types in, say, Generation 1?
Seafoam Islands.
Seafoam Islands, yeah, and that's like just before the 7th gym of the game, and granted, you know, they can freeze you, and in Gen 1 that was a big deal because you didn't thaw out after a set number of turns, but otherwise, is it because, like, they have defense up or something like that? I don't know. How do you feel, Flume?
To me, like, this game, I will say, is the one exception to that rule, because you can get ice types in the wild area early on. But what I think it is purely just for context, because you need to have an icy area for the ice Pokemon to live in. And so, like, that's thematically seems like a later challenge kind of thing. Like, you go to the icy mountain or the ice cave or somewhere like that, that's more appropriate for an ice Pokemon. Like, it'd be kind of odd if we just saw this ice cream just, like, trotting along a random, like, route, like a desert route or a grassland route or something. So I feel like these ice-type Pokemon are the most defined by the area they live in, so it's kind of hard to slot them in somewhere else unless you've got, like, the ice mechanic in the wild area.
It's true. It would be a bit weird to see Vanilluxe, like, hanging out around a volcano or something.
Well, I mean, then he'd be fucking dead. Come on now.
Well, they could make him Ice Ghost at that point and have a melted form.
Yeah, like a Galarian, like, ice cream or something that you can't actually lick.
Well, no, a Galarian Ice Cream Pokemon would have, like, a seagull attached to it.
Yeah, although I'm surprised they didn't make, like, an exception for the attack lick here, that this particular Pokemon's weak to it, even though it wouldn't normally be.
Oh, yeah, good point.
That would have been perfect.
Please stay in the Pokeball this time. Fuck's sake!
Why are you so desperate to catch this Pokemon you're clearly not going to use?
I'm secretly doing a Nuzlocke, I guess.
So you have to use the shitty ice creams, cool.
That's the point. How do Nuzlockes work in a like a game with roaming Pokemon and whatnot? Is it the first, like, patch of grass Pokemon that you run into?
I don't know, I have never done any kind of challenge runs, I will say, so I'm not the expert here.
So my assumption would be that, well, I don't know whether there's been an official decision on rules, but you could do it as either the first Pokemon that you hit on a route, or the first Pokemon that you meet in, like, the random battles in grass. Those would probably be the only two ways that you could get around it. But obviously, the second you introduce the wild area, that gets even more confusing, because then you go, what counts as a route in the wild area? Just say one Pokemon for the entirety of the wild area? Or do you do it on particular sections of the wild area?
Mr. Crime, Tom, really.
Yes, Mr. Crime. We have added a Galarian Mr. Mime to our party, and I'm looking forward to you guys getting to see them in motion, because they're just a happy soul, really.
Yes. But I suppose the thing with, like, challenge runs and that, it's one of the things that every person who plays it is going to have their own, like, self-imposed challenge. So, like, as long as they make a decision when they start, then it ultimately, like, you play it how you want to play it. I know there are all these like really weird and wonderful variants. So I think that Sleep Lock run that I see people doing from time to time, isn't that where you just play it in one sitting and see how long you can get before you nod off?
Jesus, honestly, finishing Sword wouldn't be too bad, because I beat this game, well, I said I was roughly about 13 hours in when I beat the story, and that's like half the length of Kingdom Hearts 1, roughly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anything that's under 24 hours is generally perfectly feasible to beat in a day. Obviously.
Speak for yourself, like, I wake up and 3 hours later I'm ready for bed.
I mean, I'm saying feasibly possible. Like,
if you got caffeine, you'll be fine.
for me, I'd just be like, no, it's not happening.
You have a real IRL job to go to, mate. As shut-ins, we have different standards and whatnot.
Yeah, I have very tired through most of day hours, and then it gets to like 4 in the morning, and I think, I'm full of life, I need to do something.
Oh, that feel when no GF posting time. Oh, why don't I just apply myself? I can't do that. No, you're not talking over me, you fucker. Right, a bit of ice climbing action, I guess. Very apt, considering the crown tundra and whatnot. This guy's face scares me.
It's the eyes, isn't it?
Yes, it's the eyes.
Hey, Steelix.
Gonna kick him in the face. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
He's bigger than you, remember that?
Yeah, well, Fireball beats Steel type, so eat shit.
Oh, so I did notice, thank God you put Flame Charge back.
I said I would. Why don't you believe me when I say things I'll do?
Because that was a few days before you recorded the next batch of footage, so I assumed you'd forget.
Oh.
I mean, I would have, so I'm projecting onto you here, I know that.
Yeah, good catch, Flame, good save. Oh my
Don't
God.
worry, I'll insult you through later.
You miss me. Ha 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 ha, now it's my turn. I got hit by the hail when I was up there. Oh, never mind.
So does Cinderace just sort of stay up there, just keep flying for the rest of his days?
Eventually, Cinder stopped thinking.
Oh, Jesus.
Imagine if you use bounce and your speed stat was too high and you just flew out through the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's like, do you accidentally knock into cars and knock him back down at that point?
Oh, Lord. What type do you think cars would specialise in, Flame?
Well, he's undead, sort of, so I guess Ghost.
Definitely won't be normal.
No. He'd probably Dark Ghost, honestly.
So yeah, Galarian Mr. Mime. He's a happy dancing fellow, beloved by people, mostly because he's no longer like a mime and whatnot for the most part, and he can tap dance, so there you go.
Yeah, although I will say, Galarian Mr. Mime is terrifying, but his brand new evolution, Mr. Rhyme, is like the most glorious thing on the planet, and I love it so much.
It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. If you actually feel like going back into the wild area to get a Galarian Mr. Mime early, you can go to the Lake of Outrage, obviously named after the Lake of Rage in Gen 2, and if it's snowing, not hailstorming, snowing, you can basically find one at a roughly 2% encounter rate.
Yeah, you're going to stand a much better chance of getting one on this route, because this is sort of where they mainly originate, and I don't think that snow as a weather type turns up until pretty late in the game anyway, so you're in a bit of a difficult spot, but it is possible.
You can manipulate the time on your Nintendo Switch to get that weather to appear quicker.
This is true.
And there's also the trick you can do to reload what Pokemon shows up in a den if you've thrown a Wishing Star into it, which I'm surprised that wasn't fixed straight away, honestly, because that is a very easy thing to manipulate. You've just got to start looking for people, change the clock while you do that, then back out, and then it just loads up a different Pokemon. So you can ultimately just keep on reloading it until you get the Pokemon you're after.
Interesting stuff. But yeah, snowing and hailstorm are different. Make sure you check the map because it has all the icons. It can tell you what weather you're currently experiencing. Because let me tell you, trying to tell at a glance what's snow and what's hailing is actually kind of hard.
Yeah, both white things falling.
I think it's either the 1st of December or Christmas Day that if you set it, like you switch clock to that, then the entire wild area will be snow.
Oh.
So if you are looking for a particular snow Pokemon, that's what you want to look into doing.
Maybe you should stick to battle. Pokemoning is not your thing.
Oh, maybe just stick to the day job.
I am here because I am out of work thanks to Dexit.
Oh, I don't think that's quite how that works.
No, it is. Boris Johnson told me so.
Well, what, like on that stream where only like 40 people were watching him bringing in like a Slaven?
Wow.
Like, I was watching that live and just watching the little counter going up and like, yep, 42 viewers. Tom had about that playing Sonic earlier. Yeah.
I guess everyone was out helping to tow the UK, along with Regigigas, away from the EU physically.
Yeah, because that's exactly how Brexit works.
Yep, it is.
Well, I mean, it's certainly how some people think that Brexit works, and that's what's terrifying.
Well, that's where we're going to leave it, because we're getting from jokes into the realm of real politics, and I don't want that on HFC, thank you.
Because then Tom will get butt mad, and that will be funny for people other than him.
Why would I get... Oh, no, you're trying to bait me into discussing politics, you fuck.
It is so easy, I'm surprised you caught yourself there.
Well, that's what having a nice cup of tea with actual sweeteners in at your side does for you, Flame.
Sweeteners? Fucking hell, how can you drink that shit?
Because I used to have, like, 4 to 5... like tablespoons of tea or sugar in my tea, thank you.
Ooh. Yeah, well, I have 2 teaspoons. I can't stand them fucking sweeteners. Like they don't even taste like proper sweet. They just taste of like chemical. Like why? That's disgusting. But then aren't you the one who also drinks cold tea as well, like a fucking madman?
Cold tea is cold tea, mate. You just gulp it down and you get water in your veins.
That's fucking disgusting. What is wrong with you?
Like, I mean, I can understand if it was iced tea, because that's got a different taste to it, but cold tea's just a bit miserable, really.
I didn't say I prefer it to warm tea. Thank you very much. But, hey, let's change the subject here. Mr. Crime is evolving. Oh, Mafia level 100. There he is. Oh, I love him so much.
He is one of my favourite Silk and Shield designs overall.
Yeah.
He is just fantastic. Like, look at him, just doing his little trot there.
Cha-cha. Mr. Rhyme's data will be added to the Pokédex. Yeah. In Shield, I believe it says its dancing makes it beloved by people and whatnot.
Well, no bloody wonder.
I like that his jacket's got like little blinking eyes as well. I'm not sure what to make of that.
Now, for those of you young enough to have played Dynamite Heady, it actually reminds me of a boss in that game, where it's a puppeteer who controls what looks like the lower half of Mr. Rhyme here.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, you're not young enough to... Oh, time is slipping away from me. Again, without Brexit, we wouldn't have had time. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm floundering. Can someone fucking save me, please? What are you CoComs meant to be doing right now?
Ooh, it's funnier to let you just dig the hole for yourself. Like, I'll hand you the fucking shovel if you want.
Jesus.
Well, you know, since sort of we're in mid-route and not much is happening, do you want some Clara and Avery factoids?
I would prefer you save those for the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra, respectively, mate.
Ah, that's fine then.
Okay, well, you come up with something now then, Tom.
Favourite ice Pokemon, Richie?
Oh god, Articuno.
Okay, I respect that. Flame?
You stole my easy pick, god damn it. Like, I do really like Articuno as a design. Like, I remember him being like one of the... Like, how do I describe this without saying one of the coolest? Like, he's one of the best looking ice Pokemon from that like Gen 1, and like he's got that graceful look to him, and that's why I like him a lot.
Oh, definitely. It's easily one of the most elegant Pokemon ever.
Yeah, up until Milotic came about, he was, yeah.
Again, it's cheating picking a legendary, but Regice for me.
Regios is okay. Like he's the one that has all the weird requirements, so he's probably the most memorable of the Regis for that reason alone.
Oh, Moonblast, you say? Well, alright.
Well, fuck me then, I guess.
Well, this is what I get for, not taking type advantage into effect and whatnot. But hey, what would a HFC playthrough be without me making it harder than it needs to be?
Quite right.
I don't know if that was one of the statements you meant to agree with there, Rich, but yeah.
I'm going to kick him in the face again with a fireball. Also, Draco evolved, by the way, just in case no one was paying attention.
I noticed he got a bit bigger, yeah.
Yeah. Got some more scales, went into jewellery, kitted himself out. It's all good.
So he's his fucking huge dragon form. That's what we need to take away from that.
Yeah, basically.
He's not quite dragon-like levels that cool, but he is still a pretty badass dragon.
Yes, indeed. Not going to really help when it comes to the champion fight, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah, I will say, it's curious that for a while he was, the one you went to as your powerful dragon in this game, because you can get him pop up in the wild area in Sword version, and then in the DLC I believe they're bringing Garchomp back, aren't they?
Oh lordy.
So yeah, he's out of work again.
Alright, here's the final stretch of trainers here, and again it is just we'll call this Victory Hill.
Minor Satisfaction Hill.
Well, maybe we should just call it Victory Nugget Hill, because it's very much more like Nugget Bridge than anything else.
Yeah, but do you get a nugget here?
No.
No.
So maybe it's not. And you also don't have the opportunity to do the thing you could do in Fire and Leaf Green, where you would deliberately lose the final battle and you could get infinite nuggets from that.
Oh.
Oh.
If the final rocket guy that's disguising himself, he gives you the nugget, then he battles you. But if you lose that battle and go back, he gives you another nugget, and you can just repeat that ad nauseum if you so desire for whatever reason.
Sounds a bit tedious, but hey, it's Generation 1, so tedium is to be tedium is to be expected, I suppose. And yes, a new Pokemon added to the team, Simone. Yes, with the drills and the believing in me who believes in you and so on.
Okay, that's going over my head.
Watch more anime that isn't little girls, mate.
But I like the little girl anime.
Thank God you said anime at the end, though.
Hey, well, maybe I just wanted my spot in Oingo Boingo. Now come up with something, Tom.
I'm going to have to end up murdering you to preserve my own sanity, never mind my own, legal status at the end of time.
Well, I mean, if you kill me, you'll be the one inside, so that works out.
Well, at least I'll be inside something, unlike you.
Fuck you.
Oh, Rhydon, you cuddly abomination, you. Look at him.
I love Rhydon so much. I like Rhyperior as well, even though I know not a lot of people do.
I believe Leon actually uses a Rhyperior in Shield. I forget what he has in place in Sword, but I guess we'll find out in the last part of the playthrough.
I'm not sure. I don't think he has different teams in his standard fights. I think that Rhyperior is one of the Pokemon you can pull from in the Battle Tower. Because when I went into the Battle Tower, one of the teams that wiped me was him with a Rhyperior. Then when I went back in, he had a different team. So that's one of his possibilities.
So, obviously, this is not really the time for the discussion, but he has... So he does have a team that has Rhyperior in it as champion, but that is only if you choose Sobble.
Oh, that makes
as
sense.
Your player Pokemon. If I'm just going to bring it up now, if you choose Scorbunny, he will have a Mr. Rhyme, and if you choose Grookey, he will have a Seismitoad.
Okay, so that's an odd variant of I'll make myself weaker for you coming from a champion.
Well, it's that, but remember he also has the starter Pokemon that changes, so I suppose it's trying to avoid redundancy on his team in that respect. Although if you did pick Grookey and he has the Cinderace there, he does still have 2 fire types because of the Charizard.
True.
Yes.
So just bring a water type in and you got a bit of an advantage off the bat there.
Well, first impression, that was bad. That was a bad choice, Tom.
Yep, let's send the ice type out against the fighting Pokemon.
Whee!
I mean, like, so that's one of those instances where, like, Ice Psychic is a cool typing, and obviously you want to bring out your Psychic type against the fighting type, but yeah, it just kind of slightly screw you over when it hits first.
It feels good to have Freddy get a few kills in, because they sure as hell weren't doing so before they evolved.
Essentially. Yeah, like, it is odd how it takes until its very last form before it actually becomes, like, useful enough to use.
Yeah. But hey, at least it does become useful, which is more than can be said for some Pokemon.
Yeah, but its middle form looks cooler than its final one.
Only because you like that emo aesthetic, mate.
Yeah, true. I agree to disagree. I think Grimmsnarl looks a lot better.
But the middle one, Morgrim, is the coolest of the Deadly Six.
You've made that joke already, and it wasn't funny the first time.
Well, I mean, like, I'm probably the only person who actually gives a shit about that. Like, even Sega, they only ever bring back Zavok, so...
Yeah, true. He's even in Team Sonic Racing, for fuck's sake.
Well, he's a fan favourite, clearly.
Don't start with me. I know we're only recording a couple of parts tonight, but Jesus Christ.
You know, if they make an SO3, they'll find a way to make him one of the bad guys in the hat.
Annoyingly, you're not wrong.
Yep. And Classic will be there.
Oh. Don't like that, and I probably shouldn't have sent out a Steel type against the Fighting type, but whatever, let's just fucking Earthquake this motherfucker to death.
Well, maybe if you hadn't let the Mr. Rhyme die, he could have, like, used the Psychic attack here.
Well, it doesn't matter, like, Excadrill is surprisingly fast for a Steel type, so...
Oh yeah, like, Excadrill is an amazing Pokemon and really very bloody useful.
Yeah, but Berserker is the coolest Steel type.
They're enjoying a nice retirement in the box right now, so...
A retirement in the box, is that metaphorical for condemned to eternal jail?
Well, not particularly if Galar has Alola's, like, box enhancements, like the Archipelago and so on.
Well, it doesn't, clearly.
Well, we don't actually see that. The only thing we see is they go out on Pokejobs, so they're just slave labour once they're in there.
Basically.
Tom, you fucking monster! That poor little cat!
Blame the UK, not me, alright?
Oh, gonna show up on film again, are we?
Don't even get to put, like, cool words or anything. This battle was, beautiful.
Yeah, I don't think shit was in the drop-down list they gave you in Gen 3 somehow.
Pokemon, I'm looking up memes. Sapphire, cool word. Where is it? I want to find it. Because I know people have made memes and whatnot. All I'm finding is Oris shit. Get out of here.
But Oris is great.
Agree to disagree again.
Isn't that what you just say when you're wrong?
No, Flame, you contrarian fuck. Come up with actual arguments.
How am I being contrarian by saying I enjoy a game?
Well, that's not the part, alright? It's the part where you try to cast doubt on me, you ad hominem spitting bitch.
Okay, fanboy.
Again, you just literally proved my point.
That's the fucking joke, you plebeian.
Why didn't I laugh then, Flame? Why didn't anyone laugh?
Anyway, I'll just point out that I did also really quite enjoy Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Whether it was better or not than the originals is up for debate, but I had a good time.
Well, you see, the majority in this call have been the contrarians, aren't we?
Well, I think, really, we're all quite contrary. It's, seemingly part of our nature.
Oh god, I wish we could get better abilities and so on. Jesus.
I thought you were going to say, oh, I wish we could get better commentators, because I would agree with that one.
Well, true, but what I should have said was better natures. Abilities are a completely separate thing.
And then there's me, who most of the time doesn't even look at what nature my Pokemon is, because I'm that much of a casual.
I don't really care, honestly. I make it work whatever.
Ditto.
Yeah, basically, like, I just tend to get a collection of Pokemon I like, and as long as they've got decent type coverage, I'll run with it, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, I mean, really, that's just how to play Pokemon. It's only if you want to get into competitive battling that natures and IVs and EVs and all that jazz come into play.
Ooh, outrage, 120 damage, hell yes.
Yes, our beast is becoming more of a beast.
Go on, have it, my lad, have it.
Now we're making a Dragon Dance and then an Outrage.
Oof.
Oh,
What does a Dragon Dance even look like? We don't get to see this because of how limited the animations are, but I would love to imagine it's like some really goofy dance.
I don't know. Probably like some sort of pseudo rain dance, I imagine.
Well, that in itself would be fucking hilarious.
Well, either that or it'll be like, is it a hacker? That's the sort of rugby
Oh, yeah.
dance thing? Yeah. Might be like that. I don't know, I'm just making up things.
That's all we can do.
Oh, I think we're done. I think the ice route is done, and I am also at a loss for words. Multiple times throughout this part, in fact.
Well, it's fine. Stuff starts happening next time, so that's good.
Thank you, Jesus. God bless HFC. And here is a unique piece of music that basically only plays here when you're on the cusp of Winden, as it were. And, yeah, we're on the cusp of the last 5 parts of the story for Pokemon Sword, guys. So come back next time, where it'll be smooth sailing, and it'll all be recorded, and there'll be no more breaks, God willing. See you then.